Did you know the largest workforce in India is constituted by your domestic help, your drivers, your maids, your laundry personnel? Yes, 50 million people constituting the major workforce in India are unorganized workers, 75% of them being women and the rest being children.
In this pandemic, you know that the unorganized sector has suffered the most. And to understand how you can help the unorganized sector, make sure you watch this video till the end. We have Advocate Abhishek MR, who is a practicing advocate with the High Court of Karnataka and the founding partner of Law Smith & Co., a law firm based in Bangalore. He will tell us how you can help the unorganized sector, whether it is your maid, servants, laundry, the vegetable vendor, anyone else, and you can help them. So make sure you watch this video. So the first question, Abhishek, is what are the laws which are governing this sector, the unorganized sector in India?
Alok, before actually moving into the law specifically dealing with unorganized workers, I would like to tell our viewers about who an unorganized worker is and what an unorganized sector in India is. So like always, when we have to define a particular term, we have to go to the statute. So now the first statute which we'll be dealing with is the Unorganized Workers Social Security Act of 2008. This is the act which is comprehensively dealing with the rights and the duties and the establishment of boards, social security boards in India for the welfare of unorganized workers. Now, before moving into the act, let us first ascertain and define who an unorganized worker is. So as per the act, to read verbatim what unorganized worker is. So unorganized worker, as per section 2 subclause M, says that he is a home-based worker, self-employed worker, or a wage worker in the unorganized sector. And these people are defined as unorganized workers. So now, to simplify that, these people are basically your maids, your drivers, your vegetable vendors, your laundry person, or anybody else whom you deal with on a day-to-day basis in connection with your house, management of your house. And when there is expressly no contract or agreement with these people. So these people majorly constitute the unorganized workers in India. And now, to also understand the term better, we have to look at what an unorganized sector is. So again, clause L says that it's an enterprise owned by individuals or self-employed workers and engaged in the production or sale of goods or providing service of any kind whatsoever. So one particular important thing here is that such workers are less than 10. So these people constitute the unorganized sector in India. Now, this statute is a very comprehensive and probably I can say this is as of now the only statute dealing with the unorganized sector in India, which is actually very bad because this country holds the majority of workers from the unorganized sector. And it is very baffling to, accept the fact that this is the only statute which is actually upholding the rights. So let's find out how the statute has been very effective in upholding the rights first.
Yeah. So like you said, this is the biggest workforce, but we just have one statute for the main statute, which is regulating. Please go ahead.
Also, Alok, recently the government also promulgated another law, which is called Domestic Workers Protection Act, which actually did not materialize. Although it was drafted, it was in the policy stages, but it never materialized because it was never enacted and brought into force. There was no notification passed by the government. So that is just silent. There's no work, no progress in that aspect. So as of now, we do not have any other laws other than that. However, there is also Human Rights Commission, which are actually dealing with, only very minimal cases of these issues which crop up regarding the domestic health is brought up before the Human Rights Commission, which is a very universal commission dealing with all sorts of human rights violations. So other than that, we do not have any other law.
What do you think is the need to regulate this sector?
Alok, I can answer this in twofold. Regulation for this sector is very much necessary, considering two factors. One is the social factors and secondly, the economic factors. Social factors, by that I mean, the unorganized sector, as I told you, is not at all regulated. There are no laws. So next, the obvious consequence of that is that sector is being exploited to the core. They are exploited in the social, economic, and cultural ways. Now, you can see a lot of cases where these domestic helps are being exploited. They are either underpaid, or they are being harassed, or there's a lot of human trafficking issues also in this case, because it goes unreported, because it is unregulated. And secondly, the economical factors. By that, I mean, this sector is a sector where the minimum wages act does not apply in many states. Although Karnataka government has been the pioneer among a few other states who have actually mandated by passing a few notifications which say that a particular amount is fixed for your domestic labor, including maid. Per hour, they fix around 35 rupees for the first hour and next 25 rupees for the second hour, and so on. Although this is there through the notifications, people are not following it, because the execution of the notification is the big question here. Who's executing it without a law actually backing this notification? Now that the Minimum Wages Act, although in force, is not backing the unorganized workers, so how can you expect people to execute them, follow them? Even if let's assume that a maid goes and reports this issue, we do not have any particular authority who's actually taking action upon it. The final consequence that might happen is that she might get terminated. That is the maximum. So nobody goes and reports it. So these are the issues and the actual necessity, which is forcing us as a whole, as a country, to bring in a particular law to regulate this sector.
So what are the machineries or the regulators who are trying to implement this act?
Alok, firstly, the statute, let's go into the statute first. The statute actually lays down Central Social Security Board and the State Social Security Board. These are the main machineries which are constituted by the central government in the state level and the central level. So what are the functions of this board? When we look at the functions, I would not go in detail, but the basic functions would be to monitor the number of registrations of the unorganized workers, to monitor the dispersal of the economic benefits to them. And there are a lot of schemes which are released by the central and state government very often, which goes unnoticed by these unorganized workers because they're not registered. They hardly get to know anything. There's no awareness. Lack of awareness is the biggest issue. So all these things make it very difficult for these unorganized workers. And these boards, moreover, I strongly feel that these boards should have got an additional power to redress the disputes which are brought before by the unorganized workers. I do not see any such function being delegated to these boards. So where do these domestic workers actually go and report their case? They do not have money. They do not have any influence like other people do. So they are literally left stranded in the society alone. They do not have anybody. They do not have money. They do not have influence. So where are these people supposed to go?
Okay, so this is a big problem. Like you said, awareness is a huge issue. So can you give us an idea how many workers have actually registered?
Alok, firstly, these unorganized workers are firstly not aware about getting registered. They feel that they are not identified in the society. Now that the Act actually recommends registration, before actually going into the number of people who have actually registered, let me actually tell our viewers why the registration is required. As I told you, the statute clearly lays down ensuring welfare to all these unorganized workers. In that aspect, they are also, the central and state government also announces few financial packages, like the state government has recently announced 1,200 crore financial package for these unorganized workers. And there are also other welfare schemes, constantly being released by both the governments. So to access these schemes and to claim their financial benefits, the main condition laid down by the statute as per section 10 of the Unorganized Worker Social Security Act of 2008, it clearly says each and every unorganized worker in India has to be registered under the Act. Okay, that means to say they have to go to the district administration. As per the Act, the district administration gets the authority, the responsibility to register these people. In particular cases, when we did a small research in Mysore, we understood that the municipality gets the authority and the jurisdiction for registration of the unorganized workers. That being the case, because of this lack of awareness, we see among 2 crore unorganized workers, we see only 2 lakh unorganized workers who have actually registered in Karnataka. This is the figures which I'm stating from the Karnataka's perspective. So this clearly shows the lack of awareness among people. And especially when you see a 1,200 crore financial package announced by the government, and you see just 2 lakh people who have registered, a normal question which pops up in all our minds is, what happens to the rest of the money? These people are the actual beneficiaries, and we need to ensure today through this talk, at least we hope somewhere that somebody goes and tells their people, their own people, let them not go anywhere else and do a webinar or a seminar. Let them tell their own maids, their own drivers, their own laundry guy about this aspect of law that they need to register so that they get their own identity in the society. In future, they can claim these benefits. If these people are not registered, then the government will take it very lightly. Why would they need anything? In fact, a very interesting situation, day before yesterday's Times of India, if the viewers have seen, the government has clearly given a full page advertisement that they have announced the 1,200 crore package. It is good. The government is marketing somewhere, but there was a particular section in that advertisement where the government said 60.8 crores is specifically allocated for the unorganized workers, in specific the maids and your laundry and other people, right? So the government nowhere says that, see, this is the procedure you need to follow to register. See, you need to register to get that money. Just simply laying out that, see, we have allocated 60 crore is not a big thing. The whole intention of the government should be to ensure the money actually reaches the beneficiary, the grassroots level. So what is government doing with in that respect? No, there is no such news. Nobody is aware about this thing. Later, the small issues crop up at the grassroots level where the workers, in case they approach the labor commissioner or other authorities, they get to know that they have to register. That will be too late. There is no such advertisement where they tell you how to register. Please register so that you get the money. Nothing like that. So this is a shocking aspect as well when it comes to registration.
Now that we got to know that less than 2 lakhs have registered in the more than 2 crore unorganized workers, can you tell us a little bit about, are there any benefits like pension, etc. under this act?
Alok, under this act, there's no particular provision for pension. But however, it is, again, baffling that there is also a separate scheme where the unorganized workers can claim the benefits under that scheme, where they have to pay around 50 rupees or 100 rupees, or probably up to 200, not more than that, a month. So they pay 200 a month. And after 60 years, they get around 3,000 to 4,000 rupees every month. So this scheme is there by the central government for the unorganized workers. How many of us knew about this? And how many of your domestic help knew about this? So we need to empower them. So just empowering the organized sector more and more does not help India grow. We have to empower the largest workforce in India. And that is the actual empowerment of the workforce, I feel.
Okay. So now the first, we told that if anyone wants to help their maids or drivers or laundry or anyone who they know in the unorganized sector, you told us about the financial package which the government has released. Can you tell a little bit about that?
Look, this 1,200 crore package, which is announced by the government, is basically comprising of many sectors in the unorganized sector. Some of them being, the first sector being the flour growers, for which 12.73 crores has been specifically allotted. And there are auto taxi drivers, cab drivers. And again, the maids, coolies, goldsmith, and for which they get around 60 crores. And there are various other people like fruit and vegetable vendors who are getting 69 crore, and construction laborers getting 494 crore. So these are some of the divisions and diversifications made by the government in allocation of this fund.
Okay. So now let's say we know some unorganized worker and we tell them about this, we give them the awareness, but where should they go and register? Can you tell us about the procedure?
Alok, basically, as per the Act, the district administration gets the authority to register these unorganized workers. So, but to make it easier for our viewers and also to see if that is actually the grassroots, that is what is actually happening at the grassroots level. I did a preliminary investigation and found out at Mysore that it is the municipality who has the jurisdiction and the authority to register the register the unorganized workers. So it
Okay.
probably, I feel it depends, on individual districts, and it depends on the district administration as to which authority gets the.
Is there any chance to make this registration online, because now mobile phone is accessible to everyone? That will really be a game changer than people going and crowding in these government offices.
That's very well said, Dalok. I think that is the need of the hour. Now that, now we cannot say that the unorganized workers are bereft of internet and bereft of a smartphone, because we see every unorganized worker has a Facebook account and an Instagram account. That means they're able to upload things. So in this regard, there is no particular online registration facility as of now, but we are actually contemplating to file a petition and also move a representation before the Chief Justice and the High Court of Karnataka, to ensure that the departments, the labor department actually takes some action in this regard to ensure a smooth, hassle-free registration process, preferably online process, so that these people can take the benefit. And the main intention being that the fund being released to the beneficiaries. That is the main intention. So we are actually.
You said the government has already announced this package of 1,200 crore benefit. But what if somebody is not yet registered? Can they register now, and will they be eligible for the benefits?
Yeah. In this regard, Alok, a clarification has been issued by the Labour Commissioner Bangalore, the Labour Commissioner unit in Bannerghatta. The Labour Commissioner has clearly clarified that even now, the unorganized workers, if they have not registered, are definitely can definitely go and get themselves registered to claim this benefit. Because the stage as of now is that the department has sent a requisition to the finance ministry. So the funds have to be released from the finance ministry. So now that it has not yet been released, the workers can definitely go and register themselves, not just for this financial package, Alok, but in future, there are many other schemes for which they can be eligible. And also there is some sort of identity to these people.
So the clarity is that even now you can register and you can tell people
Definitely.
who would fall under the unorganized sector. So now that we understand that, we'll go a little bit different from the act and the scheme. Generally, at this point of time where the pandemic is hitting everyone very hard, and especially people of the lower income strata, they are suffering more than the middle income or the higher income people. So what do you think are the responsibilities of the employers who employ these maids and laundry people and drivers and cleaners and people like that?
Alok, as a human being, as an employer of all these unorganized workers who are economically not stable at this time, more than a legal duty cast upon you, I think there is a social moral responsibility cast upon each and every individual, especially when you have hired these people who are each and every time they're working for your good, your welfare. And we considered our workforce as organized, and unfortunately they are unorganized, but trying to make our workforce more organized. So this being the case, I think there is a huge duty cast upon you, moral duty cast upon you, to ensure that during this lockdown, many people have clearly restricted their domestic help from entering their houses also because of the pandemic. So people who can afford to pay them money, please do not compel work from them, but compensate them for this lockdown period so that they survive during this pandemic. This is one moral responsibility cast upon us. And the second thing is that even after this lockdown, this is not just during the lockdown, but this should be a perpetual thing where we do not underpay them. We do not extract work more than what they are actually capable of doing. And you do not hire children below 14 years of age, and please ensure their welfare as well, because that is also of utmost importance, because we are a nation as a whole.
I think you have brought up very good points, and happy to know that you are also going to file a petition in the High Court of Karnataka to smoothen this entire process and how the government is going to distribute these benefits. Can you share some concluding remarks from your side about this topic?
Alok, I think to our viewers, we have already told enough, but to the government, I think we need to convey a few things. The government feels that when they bring up a particular law, it's on paper and it's good for the society. It's not the case. As Mahatma Gandhi always opined, that law only on papers does not do any good to the society, but only its enforcement machinery can do good to the society. However strong our law is, and if our enforcement finally is weak, then there cannot be any justice done to the citizen, basically. So the government should actually act upon this issue, because the unorganized sector is completely a very crucial issue where the largest workforce, as I told you, is suffering because they are not given their constitutional rights. So there's no use we bragging about what we buy today, what we do today, and you buy a house. No, that's not going to give us solace at the end of the day. It's all about you uplifting the people around you who are suffering. So Gandhi once said, it is actually very interesting that on the day, the inauguration of the Constituent Assembly, Gandhiji himself was missing. And when few of the people, who were a part of the Constituent Assembly went and visited Gandhiji seeking why he was not present and that they wanted his blessings, Gandhiji said, I will give you one suggestion. Whenever you frame a law, please keep in mind that any poor guy, the poorest of poor guys' image should come in front of you. Only then you pass a law or you give consent to an order or authority of law you pass. So this was the suggestion given by Gandhiji, and that clearly says that the whole intention and the whole vision of India is to ensure the upliftment, the social equality of everybody. So this is the intention, and I definitely somewhere feel that the government should take proactive measures in this regard to ensure that there is social equality among everybody.
Yes, so let us hope the government does take more measures. But before that, everyone who's watching this, you can take a small measure. That is, first, please create the awareness among the people who are in the unorganized sector. It could be your own maids or drivers or cleaners or laundry people. I'm sure you know many more people. Make sure you forward this video to them and ask them to register. Yes, there could be some time and some problems with the registration process. It may become online, we don't know, but as of now it is still offline. But please do tell them to register in the local authority wherever it is. Like in some cases it is the municipality, like Abhishek pointed out. Make sure you spread the message. That is the small thing you can do. You may feel it's a very small thing, how will it make a difference? But even one person is getting the benefit because of you, I'm sure you'll be very satisfied, and this will spread to many more people. That was Abhishek MR, Advocate, High Court of Karnataka, who gave us the complete picture about the Unorganized Sector Social Security Act of 2008 and how the people can take the benefit from the government schemes of the present pandemic situation where everybody is suffering. Thank you, Abhishek, for shedding light on this wonderful topic, and I hope everyone will make sure and register more and more people under this act.
Thank you, Alok.
Thank you. So everyone, make sure that you spread this video and let everyone be aware of the unorganized sector and how the workers can get benefit under the act.